Welcome to the Pour Up Podcast. I am Mike Lake, aka Hillsboro Slim.
Yo, it's your boy CP34, aka The Big Dipper, aka British Montana, here on Tampa Bay's best pregame party, not just a podcast. We are the Pour Up.
Pour Up Pod. We're here for another Presents episode. Today we are here to present.
I'm Lyricah Love. I feel like I need some AKAs. AKA Tampa Bay Baby, AKA 813 Sweetheart, AKA The Songbird, all that.
Oh, nice.
I like it.
All right. Okay.
Short and sweet on Bro Harv.
Well, welcome. How y'all doing?
We good.
Good.
How are y'all?
Good.
We all right. We
solid.
We got y'all in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're so happy to be here.
I think our first R&B anything, right?
We be drinking, so it's hard to remember what it's the first of, but it's the first time they're here, right?
Of course.
That
that's
is
what's
for sure.
important, right? First time they're here.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
Where y'all want to start? I mean, y'all introduce yourself to the people. Presents is a space for creators. What's your creativity? I already kind of teed it up with the singer thing, but let them know. Let me hear from you.
Well, pretty much, as you stated, I definitely do R&B. I've been singing for years, but I don't like to just categorize myself as only a R&B type of singer. I do some of everything. When people ask me those type of questions, I say, whoever paying me, what you want me to sing. So if you need a country artist, I can sing some country. If you need a jazz artist, I'll sing some jazz. I grew up in the church, so I am wholeheartedly a gospel artist if need to be. But outside of that, when I am Lyricah Love, I am whatever I present myself on stage to be. If I want to rap a little bit, I rap a little bit. But I am a singer, writer, all that.
I like it. That's a dope bio.
Thank you.
Multifaceted, no genre.
All that.
And whoever cutting
I heard don't put me in a box.
Don't put me
That's
in a
what I
box.
heard.
Don't put me in it.
Yeah.
What about you, bro?
Yeah, same here, man. I know I sound sick though.
Nah, you
No,
good,
you
man.
good.
You actually
good.
sound super smooth.
good.
R&B vibes is high.
Yeah.
That's how he always sound.
Yeah.
Smooth.
It should be home. Remember 1380 The Touch back in the day? We were from Tampa, 1380 The Touch, the smooth voice. You be listening to something normal, they be like, this is
That's Bro Harv.
This Bro Harv
with
with
the
a quiet storm.
Yeah.
Bro Harv and the quiet storm.
That's what's up. But yeah, I myself as well, man. I just consider myself an artist, not necessarily R&B. When I first started, everybody was like, "Oh man, I love the gospel music you're doing," and I'm like, "Wait a minute, I'm not doing gospel music." So if you talk anything positive and you speak life into
To
people
the world,
as gospel music,
Right.
Like, nah, so don't put me in a box. So I started doing some things. I don't necessarily want to call it rapping, but closer to rapping. She calls it sapping.
I call it sapping.
Sapping?
Like
Singing,
Sapping.
rapping, sapping.
Yeah.
So I kind of gravitated over to that, man. So that's the lane I'm sliding right now, and it's kind of gliding too.
I
man.
like it.
So
I like
I'm
it.
rocking with that right now. Man. So.
I kind of understand that sentiment of if, positivity and that type of vibe is synonymous with gospel music and Christianity as it should be, but not wanting to necessarily be in that box of, every song ain't about Jesus. Sometimes it's about what we do here on this planet.
Yeah.
Right.
And although those things will still be synonymous, it is an interesting thing to slide from gospel to sapping.
Well, because some sapping music is sappy.
Yeah,
So some of it's
It gets
corny.
sappy.
Like, let's be real. Like when you say you're a gospel hip hop artist or a gospel R&B artist, people sometimes will put you in a box,
Right.
and it ain't always a good
Right.
one. So yeah,
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to be in no box.
No box.
Ain't ready to get up out of here.
yeah, absolutely.
I'm just starting. Don't put me in the box.
So you alluded to some songwriting and whoever cutting the check, we talking features and stuff. Who's some of the people around here you feature? I know at least a couple, but I want to hear it.
Yes. Oh wow. So my feature list, I started off doing music with Crazy. He's actually the one who really put me out there and encouraged me to do things more as a solo artist. So big shouts out to Crazy. That's big bro right there. He placed me on his old album, so we got music together, me doing background work. I've been featured on records with MVP Marcus Vance out there. Big shouts out to him doing his thing. Later, I did features with J Rock Jones. He worked with me to kind of develop more of Lyricah Love So the song The Long Way and things like that people know me from originally back, 5 years or so ago. A lot of that came from J. Rock Jones. So we're featured on a lot of things together. Most recently, I had features with SB. Big shouts out to SB. Never Enough Music, SB Music Entertainment. Definitely Big Bruh out there as well. DC, Bro Harv. I can't think of all the features.
No,
you kind of put me on the spot, but those are like the main ones. They're definitely doing their thing in Tampa right now. Underground Movement. Chris Jackson. Oh Jesus, let me not forget Chris Jackson, the Prince up top. Yeah, big shots out to him. That's family as well. Another Blake High alumni. So yeah, we got some music going. I got a few things going. That's always like the main question, because I did a lot of stuff with J. Rock Jones, and then I kind of like disappeared for a little bit. Had a family, had a baby.
Yeah.
So now that I'm back on the scene, they're like, so what's next? Yeah, what are you doing? So yeah, I got some stuff coming up. Just be patient. I like to take my time when it comes to releasing stuff, because I don't want to just put anything out there. Ooh. So yeah.
Well.
That list is illustrious.
Yeah.
Very, very illustrious, especially like locally. We talking
some heavy hitters.
Not even on some name dropping type stuff, but just on these dudes is working and they do good music. I've been hearing them for years, being obviously from around here and being adjacently connected to the music scene, in and out of studios, talking to producers and stuff. That's dope. I can't wait to see who else. Matter of fact, who featuring with her? Who could even try to get on the track with you other than Bro Harv?
Oh man.
Right.
We'll leave it blank. Y'all hit her.
Question mark. Y'all hit him up. Absolutely.
Bro, you got any features, anything out there? Or you just solely solo?
Right now, man, I work a lot with a guy named Bruce Wayne.
Batman.
Yeah, Batman. Yeah,
that's a big drop.
It's one of my friends from high school, man. So we go way back, man. So he pretty much caught wind of what I had going on, man, because I used to just sing a lot. Just with the positivity thing, man. So some days I would wake up feeling a certain type of way, man, and I sing a little hymn from a little gospel, old school, little quartet group, or whatever. So my boy caught wind of it, man. It was just like, man, there's something bigger behind that. I'm listening to you. I've been listening to you for years.
Yeah.
Come to the studio, and he kind of had me in on like just listening sessions, just seeing how things work. Next thing you know, he was like, hey, get on this feature right here, sing this hook. So, I've been at it ever since. So it's been about 1.5 years, man. And I can truly say it's probably one of the best things that's happened to me in my life, man. So discovered that I can write. Been through a lot in life, man. So music has really helped me more so in a therapeutic way more than anything else. So just being able to write and express and release a lot of the things that I've probably been holding on to for a long time and didn't know how to let those things go, man. So putting that pen to pad, man, has done a lot for me in the last 1.5 years, man. I'm probably the happiest I've been in my 38 years that I can remember, man. So it's a beautiful thing for me right now. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. Keep the therapy going. And you know how music do for the artist themselves, pen to pad, voice to mic.
For sure.
But also the listener, they're going to experience that maybe they can relate and hear something. I told you on the way in, I was listening to Happy Dance.
Yeah,
I love that vibe.
Yeah.
It could change your mood. It's upbeat. It's positive. If I am going through something, I'll dig into something else.
Yeah.
And that's cool, man. That's dope as an artist to be able to.
Yes, sir.
To control my emotions a little bit, but also maybe even give me a place to seek refuge in your music too.
Absolutely. It took me a long time to find it.
Yeah.
So now to be able to write about it, man, I'm hoping that exactly what you just said is exactly what's being put out, man, and what's being received with the music, man. That's all I'm trying to do. Help another young brother probably be able to detour some of the things I unfortunately had to run through. Yeah.
How
so maybe you can escape it.
How revealing, I guess, are you in those senses? Are you referencing some of the hard troubles? Or are you actually directly saying, hey,
with the music? Everything I write about is real life experiences, man. So, I don't care how smooth it comes across, how it's written, how it's delivered. It's really my life. Yeah. I have nothing else. I said when my story is told, I'll probably be done with music, but I have a story to tell. So I have nothing else to talk about. So if it's not my story, I don't have nothing else to talk about, man. That's what makes me the artist that I am. It's going to just be my life spilled, finally.
Yeah.
A tell-all pretty much is going to be what I'm
the way you put that music
out. Yeah.
Oh, that's
For
dope.
sure.
I think you say you'll be done, but you're still living, so things will still be happening.
Right.
Yeah.
There'll always be more music to tell,
sure.
or maybe even you could write for other people. Is that something
Yeah.
either of you would be interested in?
Yeah. I mean, it's been put out on the table in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
But right now I'm enjoying
the
artistry of it as well. So, you know, who
Yeah.
knows what's to come. But right now I'm having fun with it. So.
There we go.
Yeah.
Writing for other people? Are we writing for other people? Like if I wanted an R&B track, could you
honestly
write me up something?
You know what? I probably could. I have not done that as of yet. To be very honest with you, I just kind of started writing my own music.
Yeah.
For the longest, I always had other people writing for me, and it was never a bad thing, but I was always kind of scared to write. You know, like I'll write something and then I'll let somebody listen to it and they go, you know, it's all right. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, I guess it is just all right. So when they'll write something, in my mind, I'll be like, oh yeah, I should have said it like that. So I always allow other people to kind of speak for me when it comes to writing music, even though I am a very verbal individual outside of music. But when it came to my music, because I just wanted it to be I wanted it to be perfect, that I allowed others who I guess been in the music industry a lot longer than me write for me, express what they thought I was trying to say, and then I would sing it. And when I finally got to a point where it was like, you know what, I kind of want to write my own music. Like, you know, I got stuff to say. Yeah, let me say something. I eventually reached that point maybe about a year and a half ago, to where I wanted to write my not necessarily my story. I like to say more like I speak for the people, because when I write certain songs, you know, everyone always automatically assume, oh, is that about you? No, it's not necessarily about me, but it could be about, you know, people I know, or just as being a woman, stories that I know other women to have experienced.
Absolutely.
Or, you know what I mean? Just being around. So I like to say I kind of write for everyone else and have a little bit of myself in it as well, but just more of having a voice when it comes to music, and it being my own voice. So I don't mind. I wouldn't mind writing for others. Like I think that would be dope, but no one has asked me to write for them yet.
This is how you speak it into existence. This is people gonna see how your pen do, and they're gonna say, "Let me get a little of that."
I
or
think
maybe
my pen, it's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right.
Oh man, don't humble brag. talk your ish. I think it would be dope because I was gonna ask y'all about this too. Working with certain people like other artists, J Rock and Chris Jones or Chris Jackson. Excuse me. And your boy, I'm sorry, I forgot his name.
Bruce Wayne.
Batman. Come on now.
But like working with certain people, I know there's got to be a vibe in that studio, in that session. How do we create the music? The producer influence on all of that. How has that been for both of you? Just kind of having somebody else in there to help take these thoughts and turn them into music.
For me, when it came down to like the producing part, I think I've only been in one session where a producer made a beat right then and there, like from me telling him what I want. Big shout out to Carnival Works. But other than that, everything has literally, beats will be sent to me, and I'll kind of go through them, listen to some beats, and it has to be something that speaks to me, like ooh, that one, and then
it'll tell you what the vibe is.
And then I'll go from there. And then some songs is like, oh, I like that song, but I have no idea what I'm gonna write about.
That's when you sit with it and keep playing it in the car.
I literally, the song that me and him are on, that beat is by a young producer by the name of AOG, and I sat on that beat for months. Like, I love the beat. Actually, he made that beat in front of me.
That was the one.
And and I was like, oh yeah, that's it. But then after he gave it to me, I kept listening to it, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna talk about on this beat. Like, I have no idea. So when I ran into him, I'm like, listen to this beat and tell me what you think. And he listened to it. He vibed to it. He came up with the hook, and then from the hook, I was like, all right, this is what we doing. So yeah, he wrote his verse, I wrote my verse, and we made magic in the studio.
So it's not always, Diddy coming up to big while he drinking champagne with some chicks in the
Yeah, no,
it don't always work like that.
I'm not that.
Okay.
Yeah, I will mess up a whole song if you want me to just sit. You know what? Chris Jackson put me on the spot and did that to me. Recently, that just happened. I went to the studio with Chris Jackson. Shout out to Chris Jackson. I love you dearly. But he stayed putting people on the spot. Got me in the studio. He told me that we were going to be going over a certain song. I didn't know I was going to be recording anything nor writing a song. I to my understanding, I thought it was going to be a song that was already written. And you want me to just sing this? And he was like, "All right, you hear this song? You hear it? Come up with a hook. Yeah, I want something like." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Chris,
I'm supposed to turn this into something."
I said, "I'm too sleepy for this. I just got off from work." But we ended up making magic. Like he's so super dope the way his mind works. But he forced me to come up with something and to make it what he needed it to be. Like the first hook I wrote, he was like, "No, I don't like that. Try it again. Come harder." And I was like, oh, man. Like that challenge. But I respect that because it does nothing but help me become a better artist. Iron sharpens iron.
It does.
And that's what I respect about it. Sure. People like him and other artists like Bro Harv, he wrote his verse and I was like, "Oh, I gotta come with it."
Yeah.
So so when it comes to producers, they inspire me based off of what they present to me, what they give me beat wise, and then from there we kind of continue to build on whatever the beat is. That's typically how I work.
Right.
Bro Harv.
Yeah, pretty much the same here.
What she said, right?
Yeah, not really. But, again, so it's been a real short stint for me, like a year and a half that I've been doing this at all. So far, my experience has pretty much been listening to beats. So producers just send you their package, their 2022 package, whatever it is, and you just listen to beats, man, and whatever vibe you can get, man. So generally, I listen to a beat, man, and if I can write pretty fast, man. So if I can come up with a hook, almost like freestyling to it, chances are I'm about to buy this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I buy a beat before I waste my time,
Yeah.
If I put my energy on it, it's got to be mine. I don't want to write to something and then when I'm like, "Yo, how much you want for this?" "Oh, man, I sold it. I forgot to take it off."
Yeah, somebody else already
I go ahead and grab it. Yeah. So right now I just listen to the beat, man. Become one with it and do my thing.
That's dope.
Yeah, no, I wanted to ask, and because I listened to both of y'all in preparation for this interview, and if I start with you, it was in my brain. I'm listening to Monica, Mary J. What was the third one I said? I have it written down over there. I can't remember. It was Monica, Mary J, and another one similar to that, right?
Okay.
And I was like, okay, so. We always do this. We'll say, "Hey, what we think you sound like," and I won't do that. I'll spare you of that.
Yeah.
Y'all tell us what influences y'all. What influences your sound? Should I say that?
Oh, that's crazy. So Monica definitely played a huge part.
Okay.
In my music life growing up. I've always been a huge fan. My mother is more of a Mary J fan. I'm a Mary J fan too, but Mary J was in the household because my mother is also a singer. So Mary J, when it came to talent shows, my mom always made me either sing a Whitney Houston song or a Mary J Blige song or like a Nancy Wilson or a Phyllis Hyman. So those, I would be the youngest person in any talent show singing some Etta James or whatever, and they're looking at me like, how old is
But I bet you bodied it though.
But I bodied it because of who my mother is. So big shout out to Tammy Brown. That's my girl. That's my baby. That's my mama.
Yeah.
But influences, like you stated, Monica, Lauryn Hill definitely played a huge influence.
That might have been who I had written down there.
Lauryn Hill is that's my girl. I've loved her my entire life. From just how versatile she was when it came to singing and then rapping. Like I always tell my friends, they always laugh at me, but in my heart I'm a hip-hop artist. Like when I perform, I feel like I'm performing like a rapper even though I'm singing.
You actually do. You hyping the crowd.
Like I perform like a rapper, but I'm a singer, and I get that from watching people like the Fugees, like looking at the Lauryn Hills.
But that's the new R&B though, right? The new R&B is not just singing. You had your Brian Knights and your Luther Vandross that will literally just sing.
Right.
But the new era of R&B is they're out there literally performing as well.
Right.
You know, that's your Jason Derulo's who literally go, and your Chris Browns who dance, who I don't even know how they dance and sing at the same time.
Yeah, it's hard.
Like,
it's
right?
very hard to
It still
do.
sound
I've
good,
done it. It's hard
right?
to do.
Like I saw something once where these girls, I think it might have been making the band PDD's joint, where they was on bicycles, singing at the same time to be able to project while also doing that because Beyonce, another example,
Janet Jackson,
Michael Jackson,
you
know, so that's so that makes you stand out.
Growing up, I wanted to sing like Whitney and dance like Janet and Aaliyah. Like I wanted to be those perform. I wanted to perform like the Janets and the Aaliyahs. Like I wanted that performance look, but I wanted that sound like Whitney. Like I wanted it to be like, damn, she's singing, but she killing it. So it's like that was always like my goal in life. And then I remember when Sierra came out, I'm like, I want to be.
That was my third.
That was my third. Sierra.
Sierra was my third.
Yeah,
that was my third. It was definitely Sierra. When I listened, I said Sierra 100%. That's what it was.
Yep. So you hit me on the nail, like literally. Yeah.
You made a fan.
Yeah.
Y'all made fans today.
I knew he was gonna vibe with them. I knew
it. He warned me ahead of time. Said, "Oh yeah, you're gonna we'll get you in on that R&B tip on the end there. We'll talk about it." How about you?
Influences
100%.
That's a tough one, man.
You better be honest. I'm gonna give a name.
I was gonna say I got a couple names I can toss too.
What? Hold on, before you say, what were your names?
I was going Luther.
Okay.
I was smooth like Luther.
Barry White. I got some.
We go one for one. We go.
You know who I'm gonna say?
No, I don't.
You don't know who I'm gonna say? I got two.
Like influences?
I don't know if as a matter of fact, yes.
What we feel from your sound.
Go for it.
Broadway. That's what.
Like it.
That's my boy.
I like
and
it.
Everyone who hears him sing, because y'all hear the sapping, but he can actually he saps well. He can sing too. Mm-hmm. They say Jamie Foxx.
That's what
Jamie. I like it.
We're on the same wavelength because I was about to say Jamie Foxx. Like just even your aura, just sitting here next to you.
Yeah.
I feel like we're interviewing Jamie Foxx.
He like that a lot. Look at him.
Look at him.
I do.
Because he hears a lot.
He said that to me. I said,
Jamie.
"Hey, that's an honor. Like, what do you mean?"
You know,
that's for sure.
Do you know that he never heard the Brady Bunch bit? Remember I had to play it for you the other day?
When he sung it?
When he sung the Brady Bunch?
When he was saying his grandma didn't let him listen to secular music, so he would, there's a story.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He made me love Brady Bunch. Like I had to go back and like watch.
We might have to clip that in the middle of this because everybody will be like, what is that?
A short clip though, because YouTube.
Yeah, short clip.
You haven't heard it either?
You haven't heard it either?
So the story was like his grandmother was church, everything in church. So he never
spiritual music.
He didn't. He never knew anything outside of gospel music other than the Brady Bunch because his grandma would watch the Brady Bunch. So when he would have young ladies over, or when he would try to woo a young lady and sing to him, the only sexy song he knew was the Brady Bunch. But
he would do it
the way
sex
he
it up.
sung it, I was like, ooh. That's the story of the Brady Bunch. Yeah. Like it made you feel some kind of way. Like okay,
that's what's up.
Jamie Foxx is super talented.
Oh yeah. It's YouTube. Yeah, you definitely do that. That's a classic. But I'm sorry, we went on a tangent. What was your
So we were still talking about influencers, right? I can't really say I have any. I grew up the real strict church. Strict.
Jamie Foxx.
It sounds like Jamie Foxx.
So it is Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, real strict church, man. So I listened to like the Marvin Sapps and all of that stuff. But as far as like the people that I love, I hope I don't get crucified for this, but R. Kelly.
Okay. Well, we had a whole show when we said that you don't have to. We still good with his music.
Yeah,
I was gonna say as an artist,
he can kick rocks, but his music can stay
for sure. Yeah. Tank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a few couple heavy hitters, man, that really inspired me the long way. I like Jason Derulo too.
Okay.
Yeah, so but definitely Rod Wave. We're talking about right now, 2022.
Yeah, Rod Killer.
Man, that's a little brother, man. That's my little bro, man.
That's what I call him. I was like, hey,
he don't know it, but
your little brother,
yeah, for sure.
Just made yourself his big brother.
Yeah.
Your little brother on the media.
Yeah.
No, that's dope, man.
So I gotta ask because we talked about a lot of classic, and I'm my favorite artist is Stevie Wonder.
Awesome.
I don't know. I'm like you. I wasn't allowed to listen to rap, hip hop.
Yeah.
The first hip hop album I ever heard was Two Live Crew. It was one with the bikinis.
That's the first.
You know,
That's
like
a way to start, bro.
on the cover with the thongs, literally with the butts.
Yeah.
That's the first. And I didn't even think it was an album. I thought my brother had some porn in his room. Like, oh, look at this shit. Oh shit. Look at that stuff. Look at me already. Bleep me there. Look at this thing, you know. And I put it in the little tip. He had the two big speakers.
Was it Pop That?
Yes,
Okay.
of course, absolutely. And I'm like, yo, you know, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But my mom, we were the Winans, everything. We got
Clarks.
the Clarks.
Oh,
Yeah.
We had the Aretha Franklin albums, but it was the country one.
yeah.
It was the gospel ones.
Gospel one. Okay.
You know, so like
I
my
grew
mom
up on
was
them too.
not really huge into secular music, unless it was really, really old music.
Okay.
So 60s, 70s, and then not really a whole lot like 70s, but no Rick James.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But old 60s, 50s
The
music.
Drifters and all of that.
The Drifters, Temptations.
Uh-huh.
So Stevie was one of my biggest influences, just coming up with the type of music that I like. But R&B is really what I love. I love R&B, and I love where R&B is going. But some people will say R&B is gone. The R&B that we grew up with is no longer. It's gone.
For sure.
So are y'all bringing it? Is R&B coming back? Or what's going on with R&B right now?
So I might have a lot of people mad at me about this one. I always say that I don't listen to new artists. I shouts out to everybody that's doing their thing, but I definitely grew up old school. So when I hear a lot of the new songs out, I can't even really listen to it because I can't identify who is who, what song is what.
Right.
And not to take from nobody, like, again, shouts out to everybody that's doing their thing. I always respect whatever people are doing. But when it comes to me and when I hear R&B supposed to put you in a place. It's supposed to make you feel some kind of way. It used to make you fall in love. You know, if you was in a breakup, you know, you had a song that made you like, dang, you know, this just happened. You know, if you mad at him, you know, whatever your mood was, if it was time to invite him over, you had a song for all of that. There's nothing that I could think of right now where whatever mood I'm in, I can pick this and this and this song. You know what I mean? So for me, I don't want to say R&B is dead, but it's sleeping.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely trying to wake it up.
Man, I still have songs that if I heard it today, I remember where I was.
What are they? What song?
Man, I don't even really want to. Yeah.
No, you try to...
So a lot of them, believe it or not, was Pretty Ricky.
Okay. Oh, damn.
So yeah. So yeah, I've had
some
moments. Yeah. So I remember where I was. You know, the individual that I was, whatever was going on at that time or whatever. But yeah.
It's funny because he's always said, because I'm an old R&B head, but a young head. Like somehow I got somebody's spirit attached to me when I was born. That ain't mine. It was born in the 1918s or something. Because because it's funny you talking about Jodeci was something that I heard in my house. Now I didn't hear it in my mom. My mom wouldn't play this. My brother was a rebel. He had Jodeci. He had R. Kelly. He had all of those. Key Sweat. You know, all of that, Johnny Gill, all of that was playing in my household secretly. You know, so I had the spiritual music, and then I had like the speakeasy of R&B music hidden. When my mom was at work, my brother would play that. My brother would vibe with it. He would have girls over. Mama don't watch this. We all old now. He would have girls over. I'd be good. I was young. We 10 years apart. I was a kid, man. So that's how so that's the first time I heard that, and it's crazy because Mike said, "Well, how would you know about that? Because you weren't out." When that came out. But it's crazy that if I go maybe 16, 17, 18 years later, 8 years later, when I am the same age as him, I'm hearing those songs. That's what I'm going back to, right? Yeah. I'd be driving the car here in Whitney, Houston. I'm instantly taken back to several eras of my life. Yeah. How we do that with the current music that's out?
I have none. I can't think of ones. I have none. Like I don't have any songs past after like the 2010s. I really don't. I mean, it might be something that you name and I'm like, oh yeah, but like off the top of my head, nothing. Everything that I could think of as far as that puts me in a place comes from maybe back college all the way down. So I can tell you what I was doing when I was listening to the Marvin Gaye.
Okay.
Even though that's not per se my time frame, but that was the music that I was on because I definitely grew up in an old school house. Like I hear a Marvin Gaye song and I'm like, dang, I remember driving in riding in my granddaddy Cadillac with the windows up and he's smoking cigarettes and I'm like, like secondhand smoking. He was like, I'm glad I made the right choice then. And I'm like, see, he trying to kill us.
Right.
Like we driving down Fletcher. I could tell you about the Whitney Houston Bodyguard album, and my aunt Elaine, rest in peace, got me singing Don't Make Me Close One More Door. And I'm like 10, 11 years old. I can tell you where I was when I was listening to the Usher Superstar.
Yep.
You know, the Usher is my husband. He just don't know it.
Usher's another one.
I
Usher.
love that man.
Usher.
Jesus.
Yes, definitely Usher.
But I can tell you where I was listening to all of those songs. You know, I could tell you what mind frame I was. I could tell you what boy I had a crush on certain songs when it came, even to the Jodeci's, even though I was young, but going to Shout Elementary and I hear a Jodeci song and I see the little cute boy with the dimples. I'm like, ooh, I like him. But I wouldn't tell him. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. But unfortunately, there is not one song that I could think of off the top of my head where I can hear it today and go, oh yeah, that puts me in. I don't have one, and I don't want to say that's sad, but it also could be for the simple fact that I don't necessarily listen to the radio like that. I try not to because I don't want to get into the I don't want to fall into the category of the sound everyone else is leaning towards. Because, you know, when there's a certain sound, it seems like every song everything is influenced by whatever that sound is. And I don't want to get caught up in that. So I do my best not to listen to or consistently listen to what is being played on the radio all the time. I will go on YouTube and like maybe, you know, type in an artist. I'll ask somebody, give me an artist name and listen to a few songs here or there, But I don't necessarily get caught up with the whole what's on the radio, what's new. Because when you hear me, I don't want to be what everything else is. I want to be something different. Yeah. So even if that's something different has already happened before, because, you know, there's nothing new under the sun. I want to be to the new artists nowadays. Ooh, she doing something different. Like, girl, you never heard of Whitney Houston? Who? Whitney? Who? Yep, her.
Put them on.
Yeah. Yep, that person.
I think another aspect of that idea, you say things imprint on you at the time. Both of you said it when things were happening. I think we can romanticize those, let's say, late high school years sliding into our early 20s. By the time we get into our 30s, good life. Not that we're done and we're washed or anything, but life happened. We have those moments. Right. So it's like the first time these moments when you're 30, we kind of veterans at this. We know what we're doing. So the music ain't quite sticking like it would have when we were 17, 18, 19, 20. And that's kind of what ages us out a little bit. Like we keep going back to what we love, like our parents would have went.
Right. Same thing.
So you really don't have that. I'm not still actively new in this world. I hear a lot of new music. Even if I toss some names out, you might be like, oh, hell, like SZA. Yeah. Somebody like Beyonce's sister, her album.
Solange.
I do love Solange. Yeah. I love Solange.
The vibes are still there. There are still people creating that level of music, not comparing them to Whitney, but I'm saying that deep, hard-hitting, emotional moment music, but we are just, you know, we got kids and we moving on to other spaces.
If it wasn't for my son, I wouldn't know a lot of these artists. Like my little 13-year-old keep me on my toes. He'd be like, "Ma, you never heard of him?" I'd be like, "Huh? Okay,
TikTok.
Yeah."
My son's 17. He hits me with names all the time, and I just be like, "Oh, word, all right, cool, I guess." But then there's still people and this ain't a rap conversation, but there are people that are like J. Cole got a couple artists.
I love J. Cole
and Broja and them. They still actively cooking that hardcore R&B, but it does have that sapping kind of feel where it's current. But I wouldn't say that's on the radio. I say those things are deep cuts in the album. So we're adults. We're older. We're not checking for that. We're gonna stick to what we know vibe
in a sense. Yeah.
How does a genre die though? How does it go to fall asleep? You know,
that happens a lot.
Are this generation of kids just not falling in love like we were falling in love? Are they not? Are they not?
Have you listened to the songs though?
Ain't no time fall in love.
These kids depressed as hell is what it is. Crazy. They depressed and they sad and they just like and I don't want to devalue people's emotions and their mental health and all that stuff like that. It's definitely something that's good that they're aware of that now, because when you get to 30 and you worry, but that's expensive as hell. So understand that if you got mental health issues, it's good to do it when you're younger and be on your parents' dime. But it's just like, maybe it's just a different generation, but I don't know.
I think it's more like the presentation. So I don't necessarily want to say that the messages in a sense have changed, because realistically, if I'm gonna be very, very completely honest, if you listen to music even when our parents, grandparents were coming up, they did not necessarily talk about different things. They definitely talked about sex. They definitely talked about drugs. You got songs where they were talking about underage kids, young. I mean, and it was just kind of how they presented the song.
True.
At that time frame was probably a little more tasteful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So because I have these discussions all the time, like when I'm talking about my son's type of music. And I'm like, why y'all talking about this? And then when I go back and listen to some of my old music, and I'm like, oh damn, we was talking about the same thing. And I was, I was jamming like a mug to this song. But it's not. I'm saying sleep for me because you guys mentioned, like, our parents go back to the songs that they remember, and at that time, when I think about it, I am my mom.
Yeah,
because
age she was when you was.
When I was coming up listening to the Ushers and the Monicas and the Brandys and the whoever else was out at the time, my mom was still like, oh, okay, that's cute. And then she'll go back to the, her the Stevie Wonders and the people of her time frame listening to those music. And I'm like, I love that music too, because of course I grew up with it, but I'm like, ma, that ain't where it's at. This is where it's at.
Right.
And now I am that mother when it comes to my son. So my son is bringing me the little TJs, the Juice World, the Rod Waves, and everybody else, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, okay, that's cute, but let's play this. And he was like, Mom, dang, that's so old. And I'm like, don't try to sound like me. Don't act like how I was as a kid.
And you also putting him on though.
Yeah, I am.
Your music,
because I would play something like New Edition, and he would sing the songs word for word, and I'm a proud mama, because I'm like, my son will know certain names that other kids don't know. He have kids to the house, and I'll play this, and they be like, "What is that, Miss Ariel?" And my son be like, "Oh man, you don't know Usher?" And I'm like, "Damn, Usher is the old name like that. Is that really? Are we at that time? Like
our music is oldies
like that?
I mean, when you driving
when
you driving in the car and Lotto got a song that was sampled by Mariah, that was sampled by somebody else, you're like, oh, well, we have come full circle.
I know all the
on TikTok or whatever. It was a little comedian guy, and it was he sampled Next, the group Next, but it was "Why You Always Lying." Why you always lying? Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So I heard that song, and I immediately was like, nah, he done took my boys. So I played Next, and my son was like, oh man, they stole such and such song. I'm like, no, he stole such and such song. Let's not do this, son. So like, I think it's dope when he could recognize, samples, but in his mind, we stole it, and I have to kind of like school him, like, no, bro. Y'all stole it.
this is already stolen.
So I just think it's more of the presentation.
Right.
So when I say sleep, I'm gonna say sleep because I'm talking about our age group, in a sense, who are maybe not so hip to what's going on right now because we are stuck in that time frame. So it's not dead. It's just for depending on your age group. It might be a little sleep for you because you're not.
You're not right now.
Yeah, it's not for you right now. You know what I'm saying? But your kids, and all of them, they're definitely in it.
Yeah.
So the songs aren't talking about nothing different. The people are. I mean, they are depressed, but hell, they were depressed 50, 60 years ago as well. Depressed, right? It's just how it was presented. It was acceptable in the 60s, the way they spoke about it. In the 70s, it was acceptable the way they sung about it, the way they presented about it. In the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2020s, the way they're presenting it now, this is how they accept it.
Okay.
That's my view on it.
Hey, no, I accept your view. I'm hopeful for your view, because as a R&B head, I miss it. every time I think about an R&B artist that I love dying, I literally go, my goodness, we done lost Whitney, we done lost Prince, we done lost everybody under the sun. Who's next? So we need somebody to take over the mantle. So I mean,
Auntie Whitney, no, it hurt me.
Who are the real R&B artists
right
now?
now?
Can we think of any?
I threw out SZA. Her. SZA. Not her. Y'all not messing with her?
I like her. Her. Oh, like her. You're not saying her like SZA. You're saying her like HER. Oh, I love her.
I love Summer too.
Summer Walker.
Yeah.
I like what's her name? Queen Naija. Yeah. I like Queen. I like what she doing. I see that.
I'm not gonna sleep on Janae.
We're not gonna sleep on Janae.
What about men?
Bruno Mars is
I love Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars.
Silk Sonic.
Silk Sonic. And then The Weeknd.
Yeah.
The Weeknd.
Okay.
It's different.
We can do
this is gonna be a long conversation.
So we're talking about R&B being sleep. I know you trying to wake them up. Both of y'all knocking at the door. Y'all dropping singles. Y'all got stuff coming. Let's talk about that. You just dropped something recently, like this week,
yesterday.
Right? Yeah. Talk to them. Good Life, right?
Good Life. Yeah. So Good Life, man. I listened to it. Like I said, man, I listened to the beat, man. I got it from the producer. And it just spoke to me the way that it did, man. So I was just like I said, I always talk about me.
Mm-hmm.
So it just flowed. I was just laying in the bed watching TV, and I had on my beats and I listened to the instrumental, and I just sat up on the side of the bed, and I'm like, whoa, when I wrote the hook.
Yeah.
Just like that. And it was like, yeah, I'm from the streets, and I live a good life, yeah. Like, even though I'm from the streets, still living, you make something out of that, man. So I just started talking about, like, pretty much telling a story like a storyteller, man. Just growing up until, like, where I am right now. Like, yeah, I may have come from this, man, but it's looking good right now, though, man. Life is good. Like, come from the streets, but, man, I'm a professional. Like, I'm an IT. Like, nobody expects that from nobody from the hood, man.
Yeah,
I'm tatted up. Like, what you do for a living? IT. Stop lying.
You do got the brick on you, looking like a firewall.
Yeah.
Right on there.
I see what you're doing there.
No, for real.
That's kind of the story of our people, taking, coming from where we all came from, all four of us, I'd say, and just living, building,
for sure,
doing better than the last time, or going through stuff and overcoming. That's dope, for sure. And now I can see the light, yeah. My mama ain't playing no game, street like she better get in the house, yeah. If you can relate, then yes, you live a good life, yeah. I'm from the streets, and I live a good life. Y'all two working on something else together?
Yes. So we were kind of keeping it hush hush.
Oh, my bad. I did.
But no, it's okay. We are planning on eventually doing an EP together. Like, we have a single that we have not released as of yet, but it is complete.
Fire.
Yeah, so
I got a behind the scenes listen.
It kind of is bringing back like the old school R&B. That was the gold. And it puts you in a mood, you know what I mean? Like, I spoke about music putting you in a certain mood. That's what I miss most about R&B. So I feel like the song that we have together is called Love Song. So Love Song is literally like it puts you in that mood. You know what I mean? A move for whatever. When I first came across the song and we completed it, I told him, I said, Dag, it reminds me of, like, when you in that first relationship stage, or that puppy dog love, and you be on the phone for hours and you just talking on the phone.
Yeah.
You fall asleep on the phone because you don't want to hang up. You hang up first. Like, you hang up first. That's originally like what it puts me in the mind of. So I think that especially our age group, I feel like they would definitely love to hear Love Song.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But our EP will be dropping probably, I want to say, maybe if not the end of this year, then the beginning of next year. Again, we don't want to rush anything.
Yeah.
We want to make sure whatever we put out is
high quality and
quality,
taken care of,
timeless. We want to make sure it's a timeless project. And we want to make sure, like you said, high quality. We don't want to just give you anything, because everybody can do that. We could put out anything. What we want to speak about is not only, love, but healthy love. Not just the bull that's out. You know, I hear a lot of toxic type of relationships, and that's cool, but that ain't what we want to present.
Yeah, good
right.
You know,
love,
all kind of love don't necessarily have to be toxic. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
we want to give y'all some good stuff, and majority of the production from that is gonna come out from Mad Smooth and the other producer.
Esoteric.
Yeah,
Esoteric.
Esoteric. So big shout out.
Esoteric.
Shout out to them.
Mad Smooth.
When y'all drop it, come back through and we'll
Yeah,
for sure.
let's chop
Of
it up. We can do like a
course.
listening session,
Absolutely.
debut or something.
That'll be hot.
Of course,
That'd be
okay.
cool.
Yeah.
We could
send it to
definitely
us
do
before
that.
you send it to them.
We already got a little
Gotcha.
sneak.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I sent him a sneak. No
Okay.
one else has
Yeah.
this,
Ooh,
so
nice.
so be gentle.
Y'all can't hear it, but y'all wait for
Nope.
it. When it drop, we gonna make sure y'all get it.
Right.
Love song is that R&B you talking about, man.
Yeah.
Bringing back that.
Gonna wake it up.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Timeless, man, like the other stuff. I'm
Yeah.
ready. I'm waiting for it.
I'm hyped.
So
Okay.
I'm excited.
I appreciate y'all holding down the R&B section, especially locally here in Tampa. We do this for the creators, presents for the creators.
Awesome.
And honestly, just putting me on. I love R&B. I'm not an R&B head, but
Gotcha.
I live life with it. And knowing y'all and we know each other. We go back.
Blake High School over here.
straight
Shout out to Blake High.
Yeah.
Stop
I've seen you perform in
Cut it out.
all kind of sessions, even like at battle rap and those silver and gold form.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm always being put on the spot. But,
He did do that to you.
he always put me on the spot.
We'll tell you off air. But anything coming up, performances or anything that you want them to go check out other than, I know Good Life just dropped, but anything else y'all want to tell them about?
As of right now, I don't have any shows that I can think of. We kind of just finished all of our string of line shows, and like this weekend is the first weekend where it's like a break.
I appreciate that. And you came in here.
A
You're still
break.
working.
Right. So I'm pretty sure things will be coming up very soon. Okay. But as of right now, this is my moment to do this.
Take a breath.
Yeah.
Let it vibe. Let the work speak for it. Yeah.
We'll probably just be hitting the studio. Right now, the studio is gonna be life until we are completed with what we're
EP.
Doing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear it, man, bro.
So I actually have an EP dropping June. Don't have an exact date. But with Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
I was shouting out earlier. Shout out Bruce Wayne. He and I have a
Superman
EP. Yeah.
He hesitated on that.
So it's a real thing, man. Like his dad was a linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
His name or nickname was Batman. They called him Batman, Robert Batman Woods.
Okay.
So Marlon is the son of him who actually had a little small stint where he did a little NFL tour himself. You know, won't get into all of that, but he took on the Batman image and Batman role, man. So Bruce Wayne is his artist name, man. Super dope.
That's hard.
Check him out if you guys get a chance, man. So yeah, he and I have a EP dropping called Open Book. So he and I have similar stories, man. Just been through a lot. Whatever the traumas may have been, you know what I mean? We share that similar story. We met in high school. We've been boys ever since, man. We've pretty much been through some of the things that we keep each other afloat. So again, he introduced me to the music game, man. So brought me into it. So that love right there never changed, man. Because I literally tell him probably more than that. He probably gets annoyed with it probably at this point. But every time I see him, not every time, but a lot of times, I'm like, dude, man, you don't know, man. You probably saved my life, bro.
That's amazing.
You know, so he probably is like, yeah, he's real, like, humble dude. He's like, whatever. But real talk, bro. Man. So it's called Open Book. So again, both of us have similar stories. So it's just a real transparent moment happening in that EP, man. So can't wait for that to drop. Man.
We will be up on that
for sure.
Absolutely,
for sure. Some heart pouring going on that.
All right,
so let's get it about it. So we got make sure y'all check out Good Life. It's out now, video, audio, everywhere. That's streaming, and Open Book coming soon. We'll throw something up when it come out, man. Thank you both.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having us.
I want y'all to tell them where they can find y'all. IGs and all of that.
Yeah.
So I am Lyricah Love. You guys can find me on IG. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on all streaming platforms as well. So the way you spell my name is Lyricah and LOVE Love. Yeah.
The way you said that.
You like yeah, so follow me. I follow back. Hit me up. I respond. I am working my page. It's not like I have 1 million followers or anything, but definitely communicate with me. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I hear that.
Communicate with me. Hit me up. I respond. I like to work. I like to network. So holla at me.
Yeah. For me, Bro Harv everywhere. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snap. Don't matter.
That's what's up.
Bro Harv. BROHARV as in Victor. Bro Harv.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Well,
that was Support presents Lyricah Love and
Bro Harv.
First R&B up in here that I remember. Thank y'all, man. Tampa, we here. We out
here.
Here.
Well, so we know who they are. Who are you, sir?
I am Mike Lake, a.k.a. Hillsboro Slim.
And I am your boy, CP34, a.k.a. the Big Dipper, a.k.a. British Montana, on Tampa Bay's best pre-K. You make me laugh.
I forgot my a.k.a.
Y'all, we Tampa Bay's best pre-K party with the full podcast. We're not just a podcast. We out.